So this should be interesting. I am downloading my Twitter archive. They censored me in millions of places. Even when I said they're going to cause a riot on May 27th, I'm like, you're going to cause a riot, guys. You should be quiet. Twitter's going to cause a riot. And I said like not 7 to 25 times. I got censored for, and then they erased that, because they don't want to be known as causing a riot. Twitter also censored me for saying God loves you, Jesus is love, everybody should love each other. They censored me on that under hate speech, right? Like everybody should love each other's hate speech, right? And I got like I tried to despin the news. I told these super funny jokes, like 50 of them, 0 likes. Either my sense of humor is gone or I'm censored, right? I mean, and there's a point where that was after I stopped getting followers. I used to get 3 followers a day or more, and then I got 0 for like 2 years or more. So like I get censored all the time here. So this is going to be an interesting little experiment. I'm requesting my data. Check it out. We have request requests. We take 24 hours. So they have to scrape it. Like they have to have some guy look at the data, right? So I'm just going to go home. I'm going to look at all my thing really, really fast. I'm going to just gun through it really, really fast. With my thing. So my tweets and reply. So we're just going to gun through it, and see what we have here. Just page down. It could be, this could be interesting if someone like stops it, and we go. Don't. This could take a while. You see all my tweets, man. I have no problem showing my tweets. Tweet. So like I said, we're just looking at all our tweets right now. Okay, we're looking at all our tweets right now, and what happens here is if we download our tweets and there are tweets missing, should be pretty interesting, right? Hey, why did they have to remove this? Tweet, right? Why have to remove that? So we're going to go through all of them. Reading some of this, about the draft, the NHL being probably rigged. I mean, I'm not really sure if the NHL draft is rigged. It just seems like they picked the guy with the most likelihood to raise in revenue. Like people are talking about it, want to hype it up or something. It's like, oh yeah, you check it out right here. I posted this a couple of times. I got a temporary ban for 12 hours for pointing out the dangers of tobacco on Twitter. Just reading through this stuff is interesting. Oh yeah, that guy was trying. The Florida governor is like, dude, like it's not right for men to compete against women in sports. That's pretty sicko stuff. But then there's China. Like I'm not sure China engineered the virus. It's just very likely, right? It's possible. I'm not saying likely possible. It's one of those things like maybe like I don't know. I'm not sure it's certain or not, but like it's possible, right? And because like who donated like 500,000 to Wuhan like 2 months before the virus came out? Bill Gates, because he probably bought an antivirus. And who told Trump he's going to have a president next year? Kim Jong Il. Which is North Korea really is just the arm of China. They want to see what they can get away with, without getting stomped, right? So. North Korea, China, same stuff, man. Same stuff. Same stuff. So, like, after this whole coronavirus, it worked really well. I mean, what they do is they engineer a virus, they get the antivirus, give it to the leading officials because they don't give a shit about their, citizens, and anybody wants to pay $500,000, he gets one too. China when Hong Kong was being invaded because Britain left it or whatever. The protesters would get arrested, right? You protest China, you get arrested, right? You get put in a paddy wagon, and you all get shipped off to the hospital and get your organs harvested. That's in the news. It's in NBC, Reuters. It's in all the news. I think it's Reuters, but it's in all the news that they harvest an organ. So they do war for a profit, right? If you harvest organs, boom, that's tens of thousands of dollars per person. What was the other thing they did earlier? Oh yeah, they sell antivirus. That's $500,000. The antivirus. There's big money in bio warfare. Anyway, so I'm not really, like I said, I'm not sure they did bio warfare. I mean, they just probably could have. It's a possibility. It's not. It's like that's one of those conspiracy theories. I'm like far from certain, right? Far from certain that is a situation. Like I said, we're just looking through tweets to see which ones get scraped, which ones don't actually end up being in there. I don't feel like seriously, I don't feel like copy pasting this because it'll look formatted like crap. But on the recorded thing, we can record it and go through it manually and check it out now. My Funk Soul Brother, and boom, it's right there. So, what else we got going? So like conspiracies I know are real, okay, for a fact. Undeniable, not like that, thing is. The conspiracy theories I know is real. Speed limits will kill you. Anytime speed limits were removed, Fatalities dropped by half. And this is because people are not looking down at their dashboard, and then they get running this stuff. The distractions suck, right? They're not worried about cop thing. And if a cop is seen, they don't step on their brake and get rear-ended and people die. That happens all the time. People die all the time because people are afraid of cops because of the speed limits. So speed limits kill, but they're not going to get rid of speed limits because they want the hidden tax money. It's like tax money. This is the thing. And what else we got going on? Oh yeah, like all the other all other civilizations, and nations, and stuff normally gave their knights and their warriors like a land, right? You get like a castle, a mansion, and land, and you do well because you're warred. You fought for it. You risked your life for the country, so you get land, right? What happens is America is we are homeless. Our veterans get homeless. The people who own like hundreds of thousands of houses are like these people who put people into debt slavery, play money games, right? Pretty funny, right? It's pretty sucky. Dystopia. What else we got going on? Oh yeah, the gun violence they're trying to say right now. Or now it's been the highest in decades. Well, they conveniently choose like 2 decades, right? 2 decades is S. But if you go back to 1979, there were 7.5 people per 100,000 who died to gun homicide. Okay, 7.5 for 100,000. Today in 2021, 2020, they're trying to say it's the highest in decades. Well, they didn't include 1979 because right now it's only 5.8 for 100,000. If you look across the see, in it was like what was it, 1950 to 2008 or something. I got about 50 years of it. 50 years of gun violence, and it just kind of like just goes along. And it hasn't been really going up or down. Like I mean, sure, more people have died to gun violence now, but also like more people have broke box office records with movies because there's more people, right? But if you look at the ratio, again, they don't want to look at the ratio. They want to push the deceptive stuff. When you watch this propaganda stuff, always know they push deceptive stuff for you. They want to paint the picture the best they can. Much like when you watch sports, they do it like innocently. Like, oh, this guy's on a 7-game winning streak, or this guy hasn't missed a shot in like 5 things. This guy has been at bat and he's been at bat and hit like 7 in a row. He's like, but then they forget the communities forget he didn't hit from the first 30 in a row, and if you ratio it out, he wasn't hitting really that great. Or anyway, it's still pretty good. I think 7 out of 30. I don't have him at full in baseball. I don't moneyball or anything. But you know what I'm saying? They frame the statistics in a way that makes their spin good. They won't even play news unless they won't play news unless they can spin it right. They don't. I love that River Raid. It goes on and on and on. You know why? It's because it was procedurally generated. I was a little kid. I was like 3 or 4, and I still knew there's a limit to how much RAM was on Atari 2600 cartridge. I'm like, how do they make a game like that, right? And it's like, oh, it's because of procedural generation that I learned much later in life. Like probably after 15 years old at least. Billy Mitchell, I don't know about that guy. He was supposed to be some sort of great Donkey Kong video game player, but they're saying he released video game scores that are physically impossible to get. So I believe them because, there are a lot of haters. Me being one of the number one video gamers ever, and I possibly could be the number one video game of all time. Not just now, moving forward too. You don't know because I like training for like an Olympian since 1980. 1980. That's 150,000 hours of gaming, coding, game design. No one matches that. I mean, it's proof. I've been number one in the world at StarCraft, number one in the world at Warcraft 3, number one in the world at Diablo 2 Hardcore, top 50 in the world Command & Conquer 3, but that was a suck game, so I didn't want to play it anymore. Top 50 in the world 2v2 StarCraft 2, because 1v1's a suck game. They got rid of the rush. When you get rid of the rush, it was just the whole thing. I mean, there's no way they even attack their infantry. They just destroyed their own game by getting rid of the rush. If they make StarCraft 3, they should make a small map. They should make it so this one's good. Joe Biden cost race rise. You can find it on my YouTube. So make a small map on like River Styx on StarCraft 1, and they should balance it around the meta. Like the game designers are so bad at Blizzard. David King and Dustin Browder. They're terrible, terrible game designers because they deliberately choose not to balance around the meta because they're lazy and they don't care about the game. Right? Anybody can tweak numbers. So eventually you get 50-50-50 win rate, but the gameplay is terrible. It's like rock paper scissors that takes 20 minutes to resolve. I mean that's ostensibly worse than actually playing rock paper scissors, which is not a very fun game to begin with. So congratulations, you made a game that's less fun than rock paper scissors. But 2v2 still has the rush and it's pretty fun. We made it to the top 50. I was busting down an early ASAP early siege tank and a bunch of my basic units. My ally was busting out some Zerglings or Zealots or some early units, some non-Terran race. You don't want to get monoculture in 2v2. It makes you a little bit disadvantaged. Most of the time, unless it's really OP. And we were doing this like original strategy. I go ASAP siege tank, and if we rush them and we push them back into the bases, I siege between them. I split their bases into two, and then bingo bango, right? We 2v1 one base. The other guy can't get past their siege embankment, and we win, right? And if they push back our siege embankment, then we go into macro, and it's a long game. But we're good players, and we're good for a long game, So what happens is we get to the top 50 in the world, and you know what they're doing. They're just like, what you expect to do. Six pull ling or whatever how many pulls there were, and futon cannon rushes, right? It's like, and once you break the futon and the lings, they just surrender immediately. So it's like you play this like 2.5 minute game. And my friend was like, dude, like I'm getting no release. I want to be able to fight stuff and kill stuff and play and play and play, and you just don't. So he's like, I don't want to play. And my buddy is like 1998. His name was Crazy Dre. Isaiah Lizard. Back and then he's an above average video game player. Right now he works for some Tesla. He has a kid. It's a pretty cool kid, and I love him. Like we have a club, a gaming team that's still active since 1998. That's like last millennia, right? Well, anyway, like I said, if you're gonna make StarCraft 3 right, you gotta put the rush back in. You just can't make these huge maps. Can't impede fight the thing, dude. How dumb StarCraft 2 is 1v1. I saw someone rush the battle cruisers. They go out, defend their base and all out, get the really fast battle cruisers. They bring it in. You know what? How Zerg blows up his battle cruiser without losing anything? He 1v1s it with a queen. Yes, the tier 1 150 mineral unit meets the tier 3 400 mineral 300 gas unit. Like, come on, dude. It's just a shit game of 1v1. I'm sorry, but like why don't you not hire people who know what they're doing? You know? It's like it always seems like people just like it's all like, what is it? Like it's like Spaceballs, right? Remember this, like uh I said fire across their nose, not up it. Then it shows a cross-eyed guy, doesn't know what he's doing. Who made that man a gunner? I did, sir. He's my brother. It's all nepotism, right? Like people, it's like the liberals will not hire Christians, so they just limit their talent pool. That's one of the reasons I'm making my video game. I'm gonna open up a tech monastery, and maybe compete with Apple and Google and Facebook and all those people who are like censoring us on social media. Like I said, we're doing this as an experiment on social media. Anything says I think said censored, right? So we have a logging of them in this video. You just scroll through this video, scroll through the thing, and we'll compare. Because like they say, they have 24 hours, and they'll think, well, you know what? Oh, this will look bad. We should have scraped this, and they're double checking. They're probably searching for like keywords like riots and stuff, because they don't want to be known for calling the riot on May 28th, what they did, And then you look, if you want to go on Twitter and go back to May 27th. The black leaders, which I used to respect, were saying some really really nasty things. It was really nasty things. And it's like, 100 people a day die of the gun violence worldwide, right? 100 people a day die of the gun violence worldwide. But CNN rubs your nose in hate for a month straight. What are you going to do? You're going to hate back. It's basic propaganda. It's a Pulitzer Prize is what you get if you make a good news article. And it's the Pulitzer was known as the famous propaganda guy from World War II. You convince people to fight in the war and to hate people and like these guys. And so propaganda hasn't changed really since World War II, and it's been around since before that. So it's not good. Propaganda is not a good thing. So what else we got going here? Just reading some stuff. Praise God. God's awesome. Oh yeah, Tom Wolfe. That's another one. Tom Wolfe has been putting like a 47 gas tanks, and they're like, what does gas have to be? And they were like, oh, the roads have to be fixed, right? Well, they've always been able to fix the roads before. What happened now? Why can't you salt the roads all the time like you used to? Why you have to do these 40-cent gas tanks? It's almost like you have an alternative motive, and then you're like, what's Bill Peduto doing? Why is Bill Peduto getting rid of roads and putting bike lanes? Why does he have a fetish for bike lanes? Oh, maybe they just don't like the car. Maybe they want to get rid of the internal combustion car. And I take a trip out to California and they're saying, we're going to get rid of the internal combustion car. I'm like, freaking California, you can't have enough laws ever, right? So so anyway, it's like, what I'm saying, it's like, can't have enough laws in California. So I come back, and then suddenly Joe Biden gets in office by mail-in fraud, and it's funny because they finally secured the ballot, right? You know, the electronic ballot. When electronic ballot first came out, what, like around 2000? Like I saw it, I'm like, dude, I'm a programmer. I know for a fact these things are insecure. There's no centralized server. There's no printed out. You need a printed out thing to verify that people don't tamper the data, right? So anyway, I like for a couple of years, I just voted protest Eva, because like our whole democracy system was subverted because like anybody could hack that shit. Like when anybody elected, you just boom, you know, invalidate everybody's votes real fast. It was super easy, and it happened a couple of times. You know, Mitt Romney. Remember Mitt Romney? I don't know if you remember the lost voting machine. Like a lot of stuff gets like lost in the clouds, right? You know, if they don't want you to remember it, they'll just kind of it'll kind of like get scraped off the internet. You won't know. People think everything on the internet is stays there forever. It doesn't, man. They scrape stuff off the internet. And one of the things is like it's hard to find Mitt Romney lost election vote, but he was supposed to lose this bracket by about what is it 40%. He was supposed to get like 40, like 35% of the votes or something. The other guy was supposed to get like 60% of the vote. Like this other guy was supposed to almost like a landslide runaway, right? So what they did, okay, they lost the voting booth at this old lady's house for 3 hours. And then when they came to the old lady's house, like, she's like, "Oh, I completely forgot I had a voting booth. It's just laying up there. And I'm just an old lady, so just believe me, because I'm old lady, and you can believe me, I'm trustable." And they're like, "Oh, old lady, I know you're like probably senile being an old lady. You forget lots of stuff. Yeah, voting booth. Yeah, who hasn't left the voting booth laying in their upstairs attic for 3 hours without knowing what's going on up there? You know, it happens all the time. I know I did that just last week. Anyway, they get the voting machine out, and Mitt Romney, who's supposed to lose by like 20%, like 35 to 65%, like something close like that. Like, guess what Mitt Romney does? He wins by the magical number of 51%. You know, it's like what the Russians always do. Like, I mean, that probably like all the Russians always do 51% of their votes. Like always, it's like a kid going into like a bar. Yeah, how old are you? I'm 21. I'm 21, man. You give me some beer of some sort. I don't know your types because I've never drank beer before. I mean, I'm 21. I've drank beer for the last 10 years. I mean, I never underage drink. I'm not underage. Just give it. He just runs out. You know, it's like so like it. Why doesn't the kid say I'm like 23 or something? 20. I'm 22. I'm 23. You know, you can get away with that. And it seems like way more. Like I think 23 is good because 21. You know. Anyway, like the Russians are known for 51% wins. So I would think the Russian hackers were on Mitt Romney's side on that side, you know. But the Russian hackers play both sides. They get like whoever wants to pay them, they'll do. Like so, like Democrats get that stuff all the time too. It's not just one way on that whole hacking. But anyway, so hacking was a thing until this last election, 2020, right? But what happened was they did mail-in votes, you know, and like come on, where's the rest of my? It's not gonna give me. Come on, I know my. If we just go back earlier than this. Is it really going to stop me in 2020? I get. You know what? It's just 2 years, I guess. All right. Well, there we go. That's the whole thing. And well, anyway, like I said, there was definitely mail-in voter fraud. There's dead people voting twice, people voting for other people because you didn't have to sign the votes, you know. And they're always complaining about the voter ID, right? Like they only complain about voter ID for Democrats. My buddy, there's a Republican. He tried to vote. They asked him for his ID. He's like, "Well, you didn't ask anybody else for the ID. Why you have to ask me for ID?" Because we do, you know. It's like politics is all sketch and it's a bunch of shit. But like I'm going to bring it to light, and we'll see if any of this stuff is censored. It should be a fun experiment, and I'll run through it if anything is. But otherwise, it's a good conversation. I'm going to upload this to YouTube, and have a great day. Study problems democracy, man. Everybody's robbed up there. All right, and check out my new. I just posted a new thing called the D-Spin Zone. Okay, it's crystalfighter.com/dspin. I'll put a link in the YouTube description.